In our last class, we have talked about the models, which we are learning a lot of models in this class. In the rest of the semester, on how to use models to solve our problems in operations management field. The next topic we are discussing about metrics and trade-off. Well, whenever we make a decision in business world, usually this decision will involve some kind of trade-off. For example, let's think about inventory management. What's the trade-off if you hold more inventory? You hold more inventory. Any constant pros? What's the trade-off? More inventory. First talk.
You always have something.
Sure. You always have something.
You always have something to sell.
That's interesting.
Vice versa. If you're not turning it over and selling it like you need to, you've got space that's being taken up.
So you think it's the disadvantage, right? So it takes some space. The advantage that I want to mention is that, okay, you can satisfy more customers' demand, if there is a demand. So how about if you have less inventory? What is the trade-off?
May run out.
You may disappoint your customers. But on the other way, you can save the cost, inventory cost, right? It's always about similar things. Think about transportation. For example, you can do it by yourself. You have your own trucks, have your own drivers, or you can outsource to USPS, FedEx. Right? That's a trade-off. If you do it by yourself, okay, the good thing is that you have a better control on the time, on the quality. But usually the price, the cost is higher if you outsource to the professional company like USPS, UPS. Right? So that's always, every decision we'll make in this class, we'll talk about trade-off. Next is about metrics. The metrics that, okay, we have to use the metrics to determine, okay, how our performance are. Usually we use the number to show, okay, whether we have a good results or not. So like profits, cost, quantity, productivity, flexibility, inventory, schedule, and forecast accuracy. Right? When we make our decision, okay, not just in operation management, but in all the business area, we should think about as a system. What we'll talk about, like chapter 3 very soon, forecasting very soon. So when we make the forecasting, this is the very important input for some other important decisions, such as inventory, such as scheduling, such as location planning. So you should always keep that in mind. Okay, yeah, I'm just doing the forecast. That's true. But your results will impact the whole system's decision. For example, if you made a wrong forecast, say, okay, in Pembroke, the demand for Walmart will double in 5 years. If that's your forecast, then the higher manager may say, okay, let's open another Walmart site in Pembroke. But if after 5 years, the increase is only like 30%, that means your forecast, okay, will affect the system decision to open a new Walmart site negatively. Probably you guys will lose money by opening a new Walmart. So the whole business organization is a system with marketing subsystem, operation subsystem, finance subsystem. Within each subsystem, when we talk about operation, there's so many different functions in this system. They are also related to each other. The system approach emphasizes the interrelationships among subsystems. Right? For example, our forecasting can affect the financial budgets. Our forecasting can affect the strategy of marketing department. Right? The outputs and the objectives of the organization take precedence over those of any one subsystem. So it can affect all other subsystems. And the most important thing I want to mention is that each function in the subsystem can affect other functions in the same subsystem, such as operation subsystem. In the management world, we have to make the priority. I think that's also true for your daily life. You have to make priority, right? So, yeah, so certain issues or items are more important than others. So let's have a quick question. Let's think about the Walmart, right? Walmart have hold so many different product items. But if you have to set priority of the items you hold in Walmart, what category of item you think has the highest priority in Walmart? One-stop shopping, right? They have lots of stuff.
Whichever they sell the most of?
Could you give me an example? I don't know.
I'm sorry. I mean, I buy all my food from Walmart.
Food. So you think grocery?
Yeah, I mean.
Grocery is top priority. Any other opinion? If you are in Walmart, which items or maybe category of items you think we should have the highest priority to manage it well, have enough inventory, have people to take care? Any thoughts? No idea? Nobody shopping in Walmart except me? You think about, okay, how we set the priority? If you run Walmart or Food Lion, Harris Teeter, that's a supermarket, you have thousands of different products. Do you think they treat each product equally? Do you think so? No, right? They shouldn't. Right? If you think about a small nail, okay, Walmart still have that. Should we treat it as serious as the organic milk? Probably not. Right? Then what category you think about in your mind that Walmart should have a higher priority to take care of those products? Joseph?
They're perishables, I guess.
Perishable, yeah, that's good thought. I agree. A perishable, you should pay some extra attention, especially you want to take it off from the shelf. It's already expired. Otherwise, the results you can't afford. Right? Anything else? Think about profit, right? If we think about, okay, we have to put priority, that means this stuff probably will bring most profit for us. Then what kind of products will bring most profit for Walmart?
Electronics.
Yes, right. I agree. Right, electronics includes cell phone, flash TV, a lot of things. And also, I pay attention to Walmart. They have a small section of jewelry and watch. I never shop there, right? But the thing about maybe most of you never shop in that area. But this can be very profitable. Right? So grocery, I agree, it's important, but it's like daily, right? If you are run out of like Apple, probably it's okay, right? But if you run out of cell phone, you lose a lot of money. Right? So that's the priority. Similarly, in your daily life, you have the priority. You think about it, you set priorities almost every day or every week. So this week, what I should do? The reason you set some stuff in a high priority in this week or this month, because at least in this time period, this is the thing will affect the output of yourself, happiness, right? Satisfaction, right? Let's say this week is the final week. What is priority? If the final week, what is priority? Study, right? Prepare the exam. If this week is Valentine's Day, what is the priority? For most of you, I know that somebody say priority is still study. Valentine's Day. Make your significant other happy, right? It's not your priority in Valentine's Day. Make them angry, is that priority? So you can see this really depends on time, okay? In your daily life, in your monthly life. Same here. Given the different environment, given different industry. When we talk about the priority in Walmart, it's very different with priority in Food Lion. Food Lion, they focus on grocery. Then it's definitely not like electronics or some other stuff, right? So we have to recognize if we set the priority, it will allow managers to focus their attention to those efforts that will do the most good. Right? It's called a Pareto phenomenon. Have anybody heard about that before? Pareto? Okay, Alan is nodding. Pareto phenomenon and have another name is called 80-20 rule. If we talk about 80-20 rule, I think the most people you understand, right? So basically, we should push the most efforts, like 80% of efforts, on only 20% of things or products we are managing, right? Because these 20% of items can determine our profit level, our performance, right? So this is a concept appropriate to all area, all level management, and also for our daily life. Okay, next topic we'll discuss is the historical evolution of operations management. Well, I will go through these next several slides pretty quickly because this stuff can be easily read by yourself. Right? You can read that in like 20 minutes, you can understand all of them. So basically we have gone through the industrial revolution, scientific management, human relations management movement, decision model and management science, which is my field, and latest trend is the influence of Japanese manufacturers. So industrial revolution began in England in 1770s, right? There's some applications, some steam engine, big moments you must already know in your history class. Right? Later, it's developed the scientific management. We use science to help to manage it. Later on, human relations. We focus on the human relationship. So human resource management was developed during this movement. Decision models and management science, that's the thing we use most in our class. Right? We use different models to really scientific way to solve our operation management problem. Okay, the last one I want to talk a little bit more because that's probably you have most touch tests in other classes. It's about influence of Japanese manufacturers, right? So this gives you two examples. Like influence is quality revolution and just-in-time production. I want to ask you guys, have you heard about just-in-time before? Just-in-time, right? What does just-in-time mean? Just-in-time production.
Your supplies get to you just as you need them to put it together to make the product you're going to sell.
What's the benefit of just-in-time?
Lower inventory.
Almost
that you have to
zero.
keep.
Yeah, if it's really perfect job, almost zero. No, very low inventory. And very efficient. No person is idle, right? You just in time, you don't okay, you wait until they say, hey, I need that. That's also not efficient, right? The just in time. There's some other great idea for Japanese company like Kanban. So that's the Japanese word. They use the place to show, okay, I need something. So everybody in the plant know that I need something. And for example, continuous improvements. That's also implements very well in Japanese companies. When we talk about Japanese manufacturers, do you have any examples of about the role model of Japanese manufacturers or big names?
Toyota?
Toyota, definitely. Honda, another example. Well, basically Toyota creates a lot of great idea in our field, operation management. How many of you have Toyota cars? Only two? Only you and me? Okay, you guys all have like made in US cars, right? Yeah, I had a Chrysler before, but frankly speaking, I think the quality or reliability is not so good compared to Toyota car. Yeah, but anyway, so the Japanese manufacturer like Toyota, Honda, well you look at the car sales just in United States, well they are the top leaders in that industry. Even that definitely in United States, okay, we for the most customers still prefer, given the same quality or price, prefer to buy US cars, right? So they prefer. But the problem that's whether it's given the equal condition. That's the problem, right? Japanese car like Toyota and Honda, from a reliability part, they are much better than all other cars, not just US cars, like European cars, like Korean cars. So the reason is that they implement very good projects in their manufacturing process. Okay. Have you guys ever traveled to Japan before? Nobody? I traveled to Japan twice, right? You know, I originally from China, right? You know that during the Second World War, right? Japan has like fights for like more than 10 years. But definitely they kill lots of people in China. But well, so many people in China, they do have some right personal opinion on Japan. Oh, it's similar, right? If you have war with any country like German, some people still have opinion on German. But I traveled to Japan twice. The more I travel in Japan, the more respect I have to this country. The reason is that the people's attitude toward everything. Well, you don't have to go to their Toyota sites or Honda sites in Japan. If you travel in Tokyo, you will see the attitude. They do everything follow the rule. Well, Tokyo is a huge city, like 13 million people, 13 million people, the population. But in any interaction, well, I cross the basic interaction. There's 6 roles in this interaction. It's very complex. But when the red line is there, everybody's waiting. when the green light, everybody's working. Nobody's like idle, play cell phone. Everybody follow the rule. Another thing very impressive me is that, okay, the way, the attitude they show to you. For example, one day I was traveling, I was walking in the streets in Tokyo. I can't find the Great Temple. It's a very famous place. So we saw a lady, it's a pretty old lady, like 60 old, is like walking around. It's a local person. I don't know whether she understands English or not, but I have to, excuse me, could you show me that's how to go to that temple? She has very poor English, but she tried her best to give us a direction. She is walking and without any face, right? Poker face. And when I asked her, she suddenly smiled. That is like automatic reaction to the foreigners, to the tourists. Just smile, oh, can't help you. Another thing is that when we are taking the subway in Tokyo, it's really complex. We see the map. Okay, which line we should change, we should transfer, which stop I should change the line. And then so many people walk around because it's rush hour, like 5 p.m. Everybody just out of work. While the lady, of course, she's the working lady. She stopped by. She said, "Anything you need help." You guys, in Tokyo, everybody has very extremely busy life, but their attitude is very different. Their training, that's why. Their education is very different with Western education, even with Chinese or Korean education. Their education is authority. Follow the authority, follow the rule, and try to help others as much as you can. So I think that's the culture. It's really hard to learn because that's a different culture. But what we can learn is their implementation, right? Quality, priority, right? Collaboration, right? Don't waste anything. That's the great idea raised by Japanese manufacturers. Again, if you have chance later, I definitely encourage you guys to travel to Japan or any other countries. The more country you travel, the more place you travel, I believe you become more open-minded. Right? You will accept or understand the world better, and this can be beneficial for you to work with people from different backgrounds. Right? Even in the United States, we still have people from very different backgrounds. Key issues for operation managers today. Okay, there's a lot of new trend or maybe cyclical trend happen nowadays. Economic condition. What about our current economic condition? That's good or not good? Or very good?
Between a little bit.
Between? I think always pretty good. When you think about like 8 years ago, well, that can be the worst, or even like 6 years ago, still very bad. Innovation. Well, nowadays we require innovation to save our cost to compete with our other competitors. Quality problems. Right? Quality problem is so important nowadays because customers are not as loyal as before. You guys are customers, right? You don't care which brand. For some products, just switch, giving the better quality. Risk management. Right? For example, we talk about inventory, right? If you hold less inventory, definitely it can save you some cost, but you have the higher risk of shortage. And that means you probably can lose permanently about your customers. That's a high risk. Some other risks like scheduling. If you have very tight schedule, okay, you will require everybody do 100% of his or her efforts. Every machine run 8 hours without any interruption. Then this can also have a high risk because it really depends on this tight schedule. But on the other hand, we understand, right? The reason we want like just-in-time idea, we want the schedule or 100% load is that we want to save the money. So it's always a trade-off. But still, we have to prepare the risk. Global economy. Well, competing global, what's the difference if we competing just in US market compared with competing in global markets? Any difference? Any challenge if we globally? Yeah. Any example? Any challenging? Compared to we just do our stuff, sell our stuff in United States.
Cheaper, labor is a lot cheaper outside of the United States.
Yes, that is the problem. Is that okay? If we compete with the foreign companies, most likely, this really depends which foreign. It can be Europe, but many foreign companies in the developing country, they have cheaper labor costs, cheaper material costs, which means it's very hard to compete with them in the price part. Right. Good. Any other challenge?
Terrorism.
terrorism, definitely. That is a big problem, especially in the recent several years, especially after 9/11, right? Barcelona just has a tragedy. Last week, right? It's a beautiful city. I traveled to Barcelona before. I didn't have a personal pleasant experience in Barcelona. In fact, I don't want to travel back again. The reason is that my wallet was stolen when I take the subway in Barcelona. Because it's still a big city in Europe. So I traveled with my wife and my daughter, right? She's only like 2 years old at that time. So the subway is so jammed. So we have to push very hard to enter the door. And then when I was stuck there, somebody pick up my wallet and run away. And it's really hard for me to get out from the subway and to chase him. He's already gone. And I came to my hotel to call Chase to cancel my card immediately, but he already spent like $100 in the vending machine or someplace in Barcelona. But the problem is not just credit card. I lose my driver license, I lose everything, all the cash. It's very inconvenient. So, but you know that in big city, especially in Europe, it's happen all the time. So just pay attention when you travel to different countries. Don't have the same assumption in United States. United States, I lose several times warnings. The people behind me say, "Hey, you lose your wallet." Well, but you can't have this assumption in most big city in the world. I would say that you can't have this. You shouldn't have these assumptions, right? Another very famous city with thefts is Rome in Italy. That's every time I took subway in Rome, I would have to be extremely careful. I just put my hand on my wallet. That's all the time. That's my only position. Because that's the safest one. You can see that. If you want to do that, you have to cut my hand, right, to get my wallet, right? If you really want to do that, I don't know whether it's worth to do that. So, but let's just pay attention. But it's a beautiful city, unfortunately. I never expect this beautiful city can have terrorism. It's happened. So just pay attention. Anything else for the global challenge? If we go global, you think about if you are in McDonald's, let's say, right, or Burger King. You open the branch in a foreign country. Anything you should pay extra attention compared to open a branch here?
Cultural differences.
Cultural difference, right? What's? Can you go a little bit detail? What cultural difference can be?
Well, they may not eat meat, and you're trying to
Yeah,
sell hamburgers.
very good example, right? Like India, right? They I think many people in India they don't eat beef, right? They think it's like cow is like a kind of god or something like that. If you sell beef burger, probably your sales. Let's say they don't boycott you. This is worst scenario. But even they don't boycott, but your sales can be very low, right? Similarly, chicken or any other stuff. So it can have culture different. Also, the Dell's habit is very, very different. Well, we have Samsung. We bring Samsung to China last year. I believe they definitely with McDonald's in China. Well, every foreigner come to China, I definitely suggest they go to McDonald's and KFC in China. You will have totally different experience.
Yeah, I think I heard somewhere that like Beijing has like the world's biggest McDonald's.
Yeah, they have, and the menu is crazy. I mean, like last year, I traveled back to China. I eat in McDonald's. It's the fried rice, chicken fried rice, McDonald's. Well, I definitely they still have chicken nuggets or burger, but if they have fried rice, well, as a Chinese person, I definitely order their fried rice. My daughter still prefer the hamburger, right? She's an American guy, so anyway, so I also told her you are so American because she was in school so many years. So when say something, say, hey guy, you're so American. The way you talk about it, we speak English, but you know the difference, the habits are very different. And my wife really have concern that she will develop some southern accent, so that's something we have to prevent. But if you go to McDonald's, KFC in China, it's very, very different. It's very local. It's very local. And you must be surprised. KFC is not it's still very popular here, but it's not the same level as McDonald's or Burger King, right? At least in the United States. But KFC have more stores in China than McDonald's, than any other fast restaurant. Because they enter China so early, they have the local strategy so early. So if you go to KFC, you will see, well, you're still from Kentucky? Probably not, right? That's most food, except they still have chicken nuggets. Most food are very local. If you go to Europe, it's the same. For example, we travel to Europe. In Europe, the company can beat McDonald's is Burger King. You will see more Burger Kings in many European countries than McDonald's. McDonald's is, you know, that's everywhere is a lot. But in China, they have KFC. In Europe, they have Burger King. So Burger King, my daughter traveled to Europe, she was only 2 years ago. She's so picky. She only eats rice or like soup, right? Chinese food, basically. That's our home. That's no way we can always find Chinese food in Europe, right? We bring her to Burger King. She really like the chicken nuggets in Burger King. She can eat a lot of the chicken wings, small chicken wings. I can eat 10 chicken wings in Burger King. I came back to US. We said we never went to Burger King, but let's go to the Burger King US. No chicken wings, right? Do you have chicken wings in Burger King? No, right? Say why you don't have chicken wings? But anyway, that's the culture difference. Probably I don't know Europe. They don't like chicken nuggets compared to chicken wings. So that's the difference. If you go globally, there are lots of things we have not mentioned. The language difference, right? The management style, they are very, very different. Very challenging. But do we have to go? We have, right? Fortunately or unfortunately, maybe some people think unfortunately, some people think that's a great opportunity. We have to go globally for most of our companies. So that means you have to face this challenge. My suggestion is that first, open mind. You don't have to travel around the world. You can't stay here. You still can be a very open-minded person, right? So you read the different news in Facebook, listen to different news, international news. You know different culture. We have international students here. You can expose to different culture. We have a very diversified campus here, right? And secondly, well, try if you really have to work with others. Try to pick up some foreign language like Spanish. Right? It's very useful. It's very useful. I want to learn Spanish when I have time. So that's my suggestion. But you guys are young. I believe you guys won't have any problem if you have to deal with people from different countries, from different background. Environmental concern. Okay, nowadays it becomes more and more important about this topic of sustainability. Even our current president maybe have different opinion on the sustainability. But overall, right, you know that most countries have signed the agreements in Paris 2 years ago, right, to reduce the carbon emission, to save the environment, right? So sustainability measure go beyond the traditional environmental and economical measures, not just by cost, profit, right? We include a measure that's important social criteria in decision making. It can be like a carbon emission, right? Something like that, pollution. All area of business will be affected. From design parts, you want from design from beginning point, you want to design products environmental friendly. Right? Customer education program, you have to teach your customer right, how to make your products as long as possible, how to have these products sustainable. Disaster preparation, it's kind of risk management. We have to prepare the worst. Right? Supply chain waste management and outsourcing decisions. Well, the reason is that, okay, I want to ask you before I explain. Why, when we make the decision of outsourcing, we have to consider sustainability? Why? Has this related to sustainability, outsourcing? We can understand the previous one, right? But how the outsourcing relate to sustainability?
Well, like I know in some countries, like this was a big thing with Nike a couple of years ago. Like they were using child labor to make their shoes, and all those people boycotted it. Like
definitely, yeah. Well, probably that's in that country, child labor is legal, but you still have to consider sustainability, your company's image, brand there. Another thing I want you guys to think about is sustainability. We talk about long term, right? Your company can run like 10 years, 20 years. But when you do the outsourcing, what is the motivations for outsourcing?
They can probably create the product or the item you need to have at a lot lower cost than you
like
make
labor cost, material cost. Okay, usually when we choose outsourcing, we talk about save our cost. Usually we go to developing country, right? Otherwise, it doesn't make any point. We move to Britain, probably it's more expensive than here, right? So we move to developing country because we want to take advantage of the cheaper labor, cheaper material. What is sustainable is a question. Because you know that when they call it developing country, that means most of them are really developing. They grow. We are developed country. We still slowly grow year by year, except recession. but the pace, the rate is much slower than developing country. That means if you also to a developing country, if you don't calculate well, forecast well, after 10 years, the cost can be higher than here. It's happening in China. That's the very, very good example. I came from China. There's no way 13 years ago when I came to US, I can expect China reach this current state. Frankly speaking, if I know that, most likely I will stay in China. I will stay in China. Why? Because there's so many opportunities in the past 13 years. There will be. Right? But nobody can make the forecast. I don't think anybody can make good forecast. So a company like Nike, they also to China maybe 20 years ago, right? Because cheaper labor, cheaper material. But nowadays, if you go to like Kohl's or a lot of stores, you buy Nike, you will see the label say made in which country. You will be surprised, maybe no surprise for many of you. Most of Nike shoes are not made in China. It's really hard to find Nike shoes made in China nowadays. Probably it's even harder than find made in US for Nike shoes. They have made in Malaysia, made in Indonesia, made in Vietnam, made in generally like Southeast countries in Asia. Nike has to outsource again to move their sites in China to those countries. The reason is that it's not sustainable. Okay? That's what's happened. From Indonesia 10 years later, I don't know. I'm not an expert on this country or Malaysia, but it can follow the same path China has already do. Then your company needs to be very careful when you do the outsourcing decision. Sustainability. Clear? Okay. Ethical issues. Okay. Well, I think other faculty must teach you guys a lot on this ethical issue. Finance faculty, right? Victor or Rebecca probably talk about ethical issue of financial statements. Worker safety, I think human resource management, Melissa or Xiong probably already teach you guys. Product safety, that's we should pay attention. Quality, environment, community, hiring, firing workers, that's also human resource management. Closing the facility. What's the ethical issue when we decide to close the facility?
You have to fire all your workers.
Yeah, unfortunately. Maybe you have to also break your rental lease or something like that. Right? That's all ethical issues. Workers' rights. Okay, we can talk about that in the whole semester. Right? Some classes really talk about the ethics, right, as a whole semester. Well, I think students, many of them don't like to listen to this boring stuff of ethic. Let me share my experience with you guys. Just show how important this is. I work as a consultant before I joined UNC Pembroke in Connecticut, right? So we have a small company, but it's a high-tech company. Okay, we have only 120 employees, but we have clients all over the world. Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Kraft, Shell, Nestle, all over the world, all big names. So we have about 50 consultants. We do have some software developer, we have some database managers, we have marketing department, sales, but most of the employees are consultants, like me, 50 about. Most of the consultants has a higher degree, at least master. Probably only at most 5 people only have a bachelor degree. Almost half of consultants have PhD degree, including myself. So I would expect we have a pretty high level of ethics, because if you have spent so much time in academia, hopefully, like you guys, right, in college education. As one time that I have a colleague working in the same projects with me, we're in the same team, she decided to change her job. Okay, she got an offer from very famous company. Everybody knows this company's name. Okay, I can tell you Oracle. Everybody know Oracle, right? Everybody know Oracle, right? Gets an offer from Oracle. First, he shouldn't accept this offer because we have the non-competition agreements. Do you know that?
No.
When you join the company, some company will force you to sign an agreement. Say, if I leave the company in 3 years, I can't join the competitor or the clients, right? Because that's obvious reason, right? You join the competitor, you bring all the knowledge or skill to competitor. You join a client, that's also can have ethical issues, right? Your clients, you know, my previous company didn't do very well for your project, they treat you something like that, right? So, but anyway, she accepted that. So, the manager don't like that, right? They can stop and say, okay, let him go. That's not a problem, right? As long as they agree you to join Oracle, it's not a problem. It's a great company. And 2 days before he left the company, he began to download a lot of code, source code of our software from our internal server. He definitely downloaded a lot of other reports, like consulting reports, right? Don't make me wrong, some reports are written by him, created by him. He do that. But I also write a lot of reports. The last day he was in company is Friday. That's a long weekend. I remember is Memorial Weekend, sometime 2011. The reason I remember that day is that in the long weekend, our company closed early, like 3 p.m. Because we are in 95 in Connecticut, it's horrible. 95 in Connecticut has no way similar to 95 here. The traffic is horrible during the long weekend. It's between New York City and Boston. You know that's 95 is horrible. So company knows that you guys want to travel to some other place. So let's you go first. Since my wife, she was in Indiana, at that time she would fly to my place, so to LaGuardia airport like 6 p.m. So I didn't go on 3 p.m. I have to wait until 5. I drive to LaGuardia, pick up her, right? No reason I leave early. So I was there, a couple other employees are there, and then we find, okay, the manager, call this person, our colleague, to the meeting room, close the door. The atmosphere I can see through the window become more and more serious. And later, human resource manager went to that door. And they have a conference call to the CEO. CEO was not on site. Everybody's there. After 1 hour, I'm talking, I'm chatting with, what's happening for this person? Why she's just leaving, another person leaving. Why they are so serious? And then after 1 hour, okay, we see 2 cops come to our floor. We are in the 6th floor in the building. Took my colleagues away. Only reason is that she downloaded some stuff from our server. When you think about it, one thing you should pay attention from this example, I believe most of you won't download like source code. Okay, don't make this stupid mistake. But some of you may make this mistake. Okay, I write a report for the company. That's my report, right? When I work there, I write 10 reports. I can bring that away. No. For most companies, it's called intellectual property. This 100% belong to the company. Even every single word you type or write by yourself, it's not belong to you. Clear? It's not belong to you. Unless you ask the specific, okay, can I bring that? It's different with school. The homework belong to you, also belong to me, right? Because I have your homework as a photocopy. But in industry, for most company, even that you write the source code, you create this software, you have Excel templates, you write some reports, they not belong to you. Don't make any wrong movements. Clear for you guys? Clear? Don't agree with this policy, but you know that's the company, right? And also don't estimate how can they monitor you. I can tell you, I have my company's laptop at that time, right? Definitely we can access the company's server. One day we play ping pong during lunchtime. We have a ping pong table and also football, right? Table soccer. So everybody play. The head of IT always play ping pong with us, right? Our ping pong really sucks, but anyway. So yeah, I can say no, but I didn't say that. So we play ping pong, and then she told us, they say, oh, it's very interesting. There's 4 people now is seeking for the job outside. I said, how do you know there's 4 people is seeking for a job? She told me, Charles, I can see your laptop anytime I want. I can monitor your laptop. If you use your laptop, most of you use Gmail to send the resume, apply the jobs, right? Doesn't matter. Use company's email or Gmail, any website, any Facebook. Don't look at some wrong page of the webs, right? So your IT head probably can also see the same thing. He knows exactly how many people are applying, probably which job they're applying. They know. That's the policy company. You can't complain if you agree to work for the company, for both high-tech company. So after that, I only use my cell phone for any private email. And you know that when I send private email or something, I cut my wireless. I don't use company's wireless. But that they definitely can monitor that. I use the data. I still kind of trust AT&T. I know they will report my stuff to my NSA or something like that, but I don't care. Probably they are not interested for me to apply the job, right? I'm not slow them. But my company definitely care. So just be careful. Well, nowadays everybody's watching on. So But if you do everything wrong, then nothing to worry about, right? Next topic we'll discuss is the supply chain management. So it's very important. Traditionally, right, we have talked about we only have COO, Chief Operations Office. Traditionally, organizations did very little to manage the supply chain beyond their own operations. The reason is that traditionally we only do business here. We run like a small convenience store, and we order from Limberton. We satisfy customer in the Pembroke area. Then why I have to go to like Charleston in South Carolina to worry about that? We don't need to. That's the traditional way. And only immediate supply, which led to numerous problems. Because nowadays, our supply chain can be very, very long. Even you still order some stuff from a company in Limberton, you should know that, or maybe they order some stuff from Mexico. Then, if they have problem to receive the order from Mexico, you have problem, right? Maybe you did not direct work with any foreign companies, but it can create problem for you. So it creates fluctuation on the inventory levels because the longer supply chain, the less reliability we have, right? We can have inventory stock out. Late delivery, customers are not happy about that. Quality problem because we outsourcing for some supply chain or our material is from, you don't even know the name of that country, right? So then it can create quality problem. If even your design is still perfect, your working process has nothing wrong, but because of raw material, you can have this quality problem. So that's the reason there's a lot of challenge in this field. But we should like challenge. The reason is that the only reason we have so many job opportunities in this field is because it's a challenging field nowadays. You think about manufacturing. Why we keep losing jobs in manufacturing? Not just in US, in the whole world. Manufacturing jobs are less and less. Because it's no challenge. We don't need the people to screw the nail every day, 8 hours anymore, right? We don't need that. A cashier, we don't need the most cashier, right? A bus, you take the bus, right? We don't need the people to just sell the tickets on the bus anymore, right? We only need one driver is fine. You just scan your car, something like that. So we keep losing manufacturing because they are not challenging. When you select the career, you want to select a challenging career, okay, industry. The reason is you have to have some concern about 10 years, 20 years later. If you do something too comfortable, you should have long-term concern. Am I too comfortable? Maybe you like that, right? I'm so comfortable. But in the long term, you can lose your competition. Okay, that's the reason I would say I really like those challenges in supply chain management. Well, I hope you guys will also embrace them. Supply chain issues. We have to improve the operation, increase levels of outsourcing. We have discussed a lot, right? Transportation costs, competitive pressures, right? Increase globalization, increase importance of e-business. Why e-business affects our supply chain management? E-business. You guys, some of you are doing e-business, right? Have you ever sell something online? Only me? Nobody sell anything online. Okay, you? No? Craigslist or eBay, Amazon? All of them. Oh.
No, OfferUp.
Oh, offer. Okay. I sold my 2 cars in Craigslist. I told my previous student in this class, I sold 2 cars. One student said, "You are so brave." I said, "Why I'm so brave?" And people get killed when they sell some stuff in the pool. I said, "No, all the people get killed when we sell something quickly." That's they will close that sites long time ago, right? But e-business can bring a lot of value for us, right? But what's the problem or challenge about supply chain when we are doing e-business? Compared to traditional, we have traditional store. What can be the challenge?
Don't really know the person you're dealing with.
Yeah, definitely. Well, how do you build a trust between you and your supplier, between you and your customer? Very good, Alan. Any other challenge? Supply chain or e-business?
You might not know what the product is or like how it works or how big it is. You might think it's listed as the picture, but
The customers as a customer point, right? So you also the quality is a problem. Another thing to think about is about forecasting is also hard. You think about Amazon, if they have a sales on some other products, they can increase the demand like 100 times than ever, right? But if you have traditional store, you don't have this space. All people have to wait in the Walmart, even it's a big deal, Black Friday, right? But in e-business, the demand is really fluctuation. Okay, inventory is very hard to manage. All make the problem. Inventory management tool, okay. That's the end of chapter 1. Okay, we have finished the comfort parts of this class. I would say that chapter 1. Well, from Friday, we'll begin serious parts of operation management, forecasting chapter. I will see you all on next Friday. Oh, yes, Friday. On Friday.
You said this, we don't need. Yeah, got it.